Morning, everyone. Just after 6 a.m. here on this Thursday morning, I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham Channing. It is
Friday Eve. Whew,
We
it's
said
nice.
it. Thomas is joining us on this Friday Eve, and he is very busy. He's helping you prepare for the incoming cold weather. So, Thomas, when can we expect the drop to happen?
Yeah, that drop is going to happen tonight. So just by Friday morning, it is going to be extremely cold outside. We're expecting about a 30-degree temperature drop in the next 24 hours. That's how severe this cold is going to be. So we'll go from right now, these are temperatures we've been accustomed to this January and this winter, mid to upper 20s in most of the inland Northwest. But by tomorrow morning, all of that changes. Yes, those are minus signs in front of a lot of those numbers. -4 is the expected low Friday morning, -8 over Coeur d'Alene, and even -12 in Bonners Ferry. And that's not even the coldest part of the entire weekend. And it also doesn't even factor in the winds just yet. Our wind chills will be as low as 35 degrees below zero through the weekend. So this is going to be a dangerous and a severe cold snap for the inland Northwest, and it is essentially a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
As Thomas just mentioned, this week temperatures are expected to drop in a big way, with many days only expected to warm in the single digits. This morning, Spokane's new mayor, Lisa Brown, will present her finalized warming center plan for the city.
She says her office is working to expand emergency capacity at homeless shelters ahead of all of this extreme cold. City libraries will be open during business hours for anyone who is looking to stay warm. The libraries will be open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 10 to 5 on Friday and Saturday, and noon to 4 on Sundays. Now, if you cannot get to a shelter for any reason, the Salvation Army does have vans that are able to pick you up and even take you to a shelter. These vans operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you need a ride, all you have to do is call the number that's there on your screen, 509-280-6860. The Spokane Transit Authority buses are also offering free rides to anyone that is heading to a warming center or shelter, as long as the temperature stays below freezing.
With the cold weather, it can be incredibly dangerous for everyone, but it's especially dangerous for vulnerable people who face greater risk in the cold. This includes newborns, elderly people, anyone with a chronic illness, and people experiencing homelessness who don't have shelter. Kids are also susceptible to the cold. Nurses say because kids are smaller than adults, this means they are at a higher risk for frostbite and hypothermia. Experts recommend staying indoors to stay warm, and if you need to go out, bundle up.
And dressing for the incoming sub-zero temperatures is key. Any exposed skin is at risk of frostbite anywhere between 5 and 30 minutes, depending upon just how cold it is outside. Now, the most important thing to remember is that you need to dress in layers and cover up as much of your skin as you possibly can.
Our pets are just as much in trouble in the cold as we are. So Spokanimals says until temperatures get back to normal, pet owners should keep their animals inside. If you notice your animal shivering or picking up their paws, those are signs of it being too cold. If you notice an animal in your neighborhood that is left out longer than it should be, you can call Scraps to do a wellness check. And if you're caring for an outdoor animal, Spokanimals says to make sure they have access to warm water that won't freeze and plenty of food. When it gets this cold, energy bills can go up. So our Nicole Hernandez looked into some ways that you can keep your energy bill down during this cold snap. Nicole?
So of course the easiest way to stay warm during this cold snap is staying inside, but let's talk how to keep your energy bill down during these extreme cold temperatures. We came to my house actually because I have a perfect example of what not to do. Underneath my door you can kind of see light coming in, daylight into the house. That of course means cold air is coming in as well. Avista's great tip is if you seal up your doorways and your windows, that you can increase your energy efficiency by 10%.
So a great guideline we use is if you can see daylight around your door, if you were to, calculate that the size of that hole just by being able to see the daylight, it's about the size of a softball in hole size hole in your wall. So that'd be like having a big hole in your wall that's just open to the outside.
So because of that, Avista says to cover gaps with door snakes, close your drapes and your blinds, and cover your windows with plastic if you can. You can also start making choices about what temperature to keep your house at and or what rooms to heat or not to heat. Make sure you switch out your furnace filters and try not to use space heaters if possible. They're actually more expensive to run. If you do lose power, to help keep some of the heat in, you can shut the doors to the rooms in your house, move everyone into one room because body heat will help keep everyone warm. If you have a natural gas water heater, you'll still have hot water in that situation, so you can actually fill water bottles with hot water to help keep you warm. And don't start burning things in your house unless you have an actual functioning fireplace. And one other great local resource to use is the SNAP website, snapwa.org. You can go there. It will pull up this title screen. If you click here, apply for energy assistance, it takes you to a website that lets you apply for an appointment through SNAP that will have a representative walk you through some of the things you can do to help keep your energy bill down during these cold temperatures. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
Brand new for you this morning at 6 a.m., law enforcement released the name of the Quincy man shot and killed by Quincy police. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says 24-year-old Jose Rico Flores was killed at the Jackpot Food Mart on Monday. Police say Rico Flores stabbed a police officer in his arm and shoulder before being shot by police. That officer is expected to be okay. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says an independent investigative team will now handle the investigation.
It's exciting that there's such a future here, and you can see it, and we know what's happening.
It's a new era for the Seattle Seahawks as they begin their search for the next head coach. The team announced yesterday Pete Carroll will no longer be the head coach after 14 seasons.
Now, Carroll, of course, helped lead the Hawks to 10 playoff appearances, 2 NFC championships, and 1 Super Bowl victory. He now leaves the Hawks as the winningest coach in franchise history. Here's a look back at Pete's tenure. His 137 Seahawk wins are the most in team history. He has 2 Super Bowl appearances and 1 win. And he's third among NFL coaches with 10 playoff wins since taking over for the Hawks. And in NFL history, he's actually tied for 13th with Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin in all-time wins with 180. Paul Sylvie with our Seattle station sat down with Pete yesterday and talked about how he wants to be remembered.
It's a special place to be, and it's not just the fun. It's the depth and the sincerity and the competitiveness and the battling and the willing to break a meeting up and have a freaking shootout, right in the middle of a meeting because 2 guys just butted heads or something in practice. There's a freedom about that, and the freedom and the free flowing of it, I think, is it's endearing in a sense, because you don't know what's going to happen, but you know what's going to happen. And so we just try to keep creating it, and hopefully we hit it. And most of the time we did, sometimes we didn't, but most of the time we had a great time.
You were asked at the press conference how you want to be remembered. Can you elaborate a little bit on how you want to be remembered here with your 14 years? I
hope that the players that were with us and the coaches that were with us are forever grateful for the fun times that we had and the achievement that we aspired to. And there's nothing I like more than great competitors and surrounding ourselves with it and demonstrating and illustrating when people do come through. Like I know our fans have always kind of struggled through our late wins and all that. Well, to me, there's nothing better. That's as good as it gets. Like this season, we had 6 games that we won at the end. There's like 4 other ones we could have. And why couldn't we have done that all season long and just drove our fans crazy all the way down to the end? And I know there's thousands and thousands of people doing that as well, but too bad, suck it up. It's pretty freaking fun when we win, and so all that stuff has made it very special.
Anytime a shakeup like this happens, the rumors begin on who could be the replacement. So here's a look at some of the possible names that are being thrown around. Current Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn held the same position while he was in Seattle. The Commanders' Eric Bieniemy ran the Chiefs' offense to their Super Bowl titles. The Buccaneers' Dave Canales spent 13 seasons with Pete Carroll and the Seahawks as a coaching assistant. Jim Harbaugh's name is also hovering around the NFL after Michigan's national title win. Some feel indifferent about it, but it could be really good for the Seahawks too. Or this could all really be a complete surprise to all of us. And still ahead in our next half hour of Up with KREM, see the reactions pouring in this morning to the big shakeup in Seattle. That's coming up at 6:35 on Up with KREM. Also breaking news in the NFL world, Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots are expected to part ways today. That is according to ESPN. Belichick has been with the Patriots for 24 seasons with 6 Super Bowl titles under his belt.
And former Belichick co-worker Nick Saban, head coach of the University of Alabama's football team, is retiring. During his 17 years in Tuscaloosa, Saban collected 206 wins, 6 national championships, 4 Heisman Trophy winners, and 10 SEC championships. Saban caps a 28-year coaching career with a total of 297 wins and 71 losses, including time at Toledo, Michigan State, and LSU.
Time is 6:11. Another check of our weather forecast where we're going to focus on the snowfall because, yes, it's going to get super cold by tomorrow, but we need to not forget that another batch of snow is already ongoing this morning. If you're in North Idaho between Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls, Rathdrum, Hayden, you've been getting some snowfall within the last hour here. And notice how this snow shower is starting to back build towards the west. So it's not really moving anywhere. So once it starts snowing, this is where we could start to see the accumulations start to roll. Let's take a trip up Highway 95 up towards Sandpoint where, yes, those snow showers between there and Priest River are also ongoing and will continue to pick up in terms of its coverage and intensity in the next couple hours here. Winter weather advisories for the most part for eastern Washington and North Idaho, as we'll likely get at least a couple inches of snow for most of our North Idaho locations.